Welcome to reality. You're now on the Code of Mind channel. If you thought the simulation theory was just a collection of clever metaphors from sci-fi movies designed to entertain the public, think again. Modern science has crossed that threshold and is now staring directly at the reality. In 2023, Professor of Physics Melvin Vopson made a massive breakthrough, presenting the world's scientific community with the second law of infodynamics. While studying the behavior of information in physical systems, quantum states, and even the structure of human DNA, he discovered a startling anomaly. Contrary to classical thermodynamics, where everything tends toward chaos and dissipation, information in the universe behaves in the strictly opposite way. It constantly compresses, deletes redundant code, optimizes itself, and minimizes the overall entropy of the system. Why is this necessary? Any programmer building large-scale 3D worlds will tell you that this is exactly how you optimize the software code of massive video games to prevent the server from crashing or overheating under colossal overload. Professor Vopson stated to the world that our physical reality functions exactly like the digital engine of the iconic game, The Sims. The laws of physics, including electromagnetism and gravity, are not mystical forces of nature. They are optimization algorithms for a computer engine. They simply compress data regarding the coordinates of matter in space so that the processor only renders the objects currently within the observer's focus. We are inside a giant software application functioning by strict digital rules. And this simulation has a specific, clearly defined goal for which billions of our biological avatars are running on a massive server. Let's take a detailed look at how the interface of this simulation is structured from within our daily lives. In the iconic simulator The Sims, a green diamond-shaped plumb bob hovers above every single character, reflecting their current system status. You and I have exactly 6 of these hidden bars: hunger, hygiene, bladder, energy, fun, and social. Official biology and medicine have conditioned us to call these instincts, hormones, and basic bodily needs. But in the Matrix's code structure, these are merely technical indicators of your avatar's vulnerability. The simulation's architecture is ingenious and ruthless. It keeps your consciousness perpetually hostage to these 6 colored bars. As soon as energy or hunger drops into the critical red zone, the avatar instantly loses the ability to think on a grand scale, analyze reality, or create anything great. The Matrix's program code intentionally forces you to spend 2/3 of your life on basic cyclical maintenance of your biological suit: sleeping, digesting food, washing, and using the restroom. This is the base script for limiting potential. The Matrix keeps billions of users in a low-frequency survival mode so that they are too busy seeking food and shelter to ever start asking direct questions of the main processor. Most people get stuck at this starting level forever, wasting their entire mental resource just trying to paint their hunger bar a safe shade of green. Remember what happens in The Sims if a player drops the mouse, walks away from the computer, and stops providing commands? The character will never start building an international business, learning foreign languages, or painting masterpieces on their own. They enter a stupor, a so-called system standby mode. If their basic physical bars are relatively normal, they will stare at one point for hours, pace meaninglessly in the middle of a room, or stand waving their arms in front of a closed refrigerator. No digital character in the history of the gaming industry has independently, without an external hard command, sat down to learn programming or hit the gym. Does this behavior look familiar when you look at the millions of people around you? This is the fundamental truth of our simulation. Our subconscious, our built-in program code, always strives for total energy conservation and warmth. Most people sincerely want to just lie on the couch, scroll through an endless feed of short videos, consume light information, and passively wait for an ideal life, financial freedom, expensive cars, and travel to fall into their laps. But the simulation's algorithm is ruthless. In standby mode, the character does not evolve. Their program code slowly degrades and becomes covered in digital errors. Your fun bar is temporarily filled with cheap artificial dopamine, while your character's success bar steadily drops to 0. The main server will never grant in-game currency to an avatar that simply passively occupies space on the server and consumes bandwidth. So how do you find the strength to exit this systemic hibernation? In the code structure of The Sims, leveling up any skill, whether it's logic, cooking, athletics, or charisma, looks the same. A blank blue bar appears above the character's head, which only begins to fill when they perform a deliberate, monotonous, and often highly uncomfortable action. When the avatar works on their physique on a treadmill, their energy bar drops rapidly. They get tired, angry, and shout, but the numerical skill indicator rises steadily. In our tangible reality, this law works with absolute mathematical precision. The real development of your avatar begins exactly where the comfort zone of your biological suit ends. The Matrix is designed as a perfect, harsh training simulator. To raise your character's level and gain access to new benefits, you are obligated to consciously push them into controlled stress. Working on your blocks, studying complex mechanics, and creating projects. This is always a process of overcoming powerful systemic environmental resistance. When you force yourself to get out of bed and act against your laziness, you are literally hijacking the keyboard from the simulation script and beginning to manually fill your personal mastery bar. Let's break down the device of the mood and mental health bar, which is built into our interface and directly influences the generation of successful events around the avatar. In a life simulator, if a player ignores a character's internal needs for a long time, does not let them climb the career ladder, forces them to perform monotonous, foreign labor, and locks them in an empty room without windows, their plumb bob turns bright red. The character simply falls to the floor, starts crying loudly, completely refuses to follow any player commands, waves their arms at the void, and eventually withers away, turning into digital dust. In our real life, this massive system glitch is commonly called depression, burnout, and apathy. This is not just a bad mood, laziness, or temporary sadness. This is an official system notification from the Matrix's central processor that your avatar is being used incorrectly. If people don't develop their character for years, if their social and fun bars are stuffed with cheap surrogates from the internet, while their self-actualization bar is empty, the system automatically enables a forced braking mode. This is a built-in circuit breaker. Your access to life energy, creative flow, and financial resources is completely blocked. The Matrix seems to tell the user, you are not performing the server's tasks, your avatar is treading water, and your energy output is reduced to a critical minimum. When the bar goes deep into the negative, external algorithms also begin to break down around the character. Household chores collapse, frustrating accidents occur, and the space itself seems to shut every door. To remove this block and return your indicator to green, it is useless to ask the system for help, complain about injustice, or cry from a state of neediness. The Matrix does not register passive complaints. The only way to restart the processor is to overcome the systemic resistance, stand up, and begin manually changing your character's physical steps in the material world through microactions. Only when the Matrix's sensors detect real movement and a change of vector will pure simulation energy begin to flow to your avatar again. When you finally understand these hidden rules, your game changes completely. You stop being just a passive, controlled avatar whose need bars are constantly dropping into the negative, and you become the cold-blooded player behind your own control panel. The simulation code contains a clear, unbreakable rule. As soon as your character completely fills a specific skill bar to the 10th, maximum level, the world around them instantly and irrevocably reorganizes. Hidden locations open up, unique contracts with massive payouts are unlocked, and entirely different volumes of resources begin to arrive in your game account. This is the very same quantum leap that many people talk about but do not understand the internal digital mechanics of. You don't need to sit and wait for the Matrix to change itself or for the government to rewrite the laws. You must purposefully, day by day, invest your time in leveling up your avatar. Increase your characteristics, fill your basic need bars only with high-quality resources, and pull your character out of zombie mode. As soon as your avatar's internal code updates to the required level, the external simulation will be programmatically obligated to render an entirely new, luxurious reality with different possibilities beneath you. Thank you for being with me on this channel. I wish you the best possible branch of reality. Subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video. Take care.